Magic. One of the great mysteries of our world, magic has gone on to confound almost all conventional researchers, me amongst them. Seeking enlightenment on the arcane, I partook in the ill-advised task of searching for a magister. These likely being the individuals with the most in-depth knowledge of magic. Though it seems as if most of these people live in some sort of seclusion, as most like to avoid the public eye due to their, well, abnormal appearance. I'll elaborate on that later though. Back on track now. During my meeting with this particular magister, they seemed fairly open to elaborate on the base principles of magic. From what I could gather, it seems that magic is based around one's own perception of one's self and the world around them. Where if you believe something enough it will become real to a degree, with one's mindset, background and outlook on the world being integral to shaping one's use of magic. When I asked for a specific example, I was given an in-depth example of how creating a fireball would work. Being one of the first spells a human magister learns, it's fairly straightforward. The spell's action and objective is formed in the brain. The way these spells are formed differs based on what sense you use to connect to magic. With humans it is sight. So in this case one would envision the image of fire. This spell is then transported along the spine via spinal fluid and then into the bloodstream, as these materials are some of the most effective in terms of storing and conducting magic. The spell is then released from a chosen spot on the body, usually the hands. With more experienced magic users being able to activate magic further away from their body by transmitting magic through the earth or air. This all culminates in the release of a fireball at the targeted area. This process differs based on what sense is used to connect to magic, with different senses working better with different elements and schools of magic. With these groups being sight, fire and destruction, hearing, air and illusion, taste, water and creation, smell, plant and regeneration, and touch, earth and manipulation. With users of magic finding ways to augment these senses along with their state of mind in order to enhance their use of magic. With mind-altering chemicals and other accessories being common amongst magisters and other magic users. Speaking of which, the reason I address magisters and magic users separately is because there is a distinct divide between the two. With magic users going by many names such as wizards, alchemists, artificers and the such. Using magic in many different ways under uniform practices, the main dividing factor is the fact that magic users cannot fully control magic unassisted. With these people using tools or body modifications to channel magic, with scrolls, potions and enchanted weapons being chief among these. With some going as far as to engrave or tattoo runes into their flesh or even implant lengths of magically conductive wire to simulate the magister's use of the arcane. Though these physical differences are nowhere near that of magisters, with the movement of magic throughout the body coming with mental and physical side effects, these differ depending on what magic one practices. In the case of the one telling me this, they seem to have undergone dramatic physical changes. With an elongated neck and forearms, coal-black eyes and charred skin gradating from the extremities and eyes. But out of all of these, the third eye is the most apparent. This is when I learned that though most become magisters later in life, with these abilities usually being kick-started by key events, be it positive or traumatic. These events seem to cause a permanent shift in perspective and neurological patterns in the individual, allowing the use of magic. But in rare cases one is born with these capabilities, accompanied with distinct physical mutations. Most common of these being extra hands, nostrils, ears, tongues and eyes. These also denote the type of magic the person can use. These mutations don't seem to be genetic at all, with these individuals referred to as mage-born, occurring seemingly randomly in families. But me and my peers have recently mapped out a link between the birth rates of the mage-born and the flow of magic currents in the atmosphere. This ties into one of the biggest mysteries of magic, that being the magic cores. These are masses of incredibly dense pure magic. There are three major ones: two of which are often visible to us, these being the sun and moon, with the third being a contentious topic. The third core is located in the empty space between the planes, with this even being considered the seventh plane by a majority of magic users, though this is debated. Even though its status as a plane is contentious, the seventh plane seems to be integral to the structure of our world, with the core constantly blasting out currents of pure magic. The flow of this magic appears to be what allows the connecting falls to flow how they do, with these currents presumably driving the cycle of the sun and moon across the planes, with lesser currents saturating the surface of each plane. This is caused by the currents being reflected off the two cores. These currents appear to cause abnormal effects in the flora and fauna in the region. This magic sinks into the soil along with the magic released from cadavers. This eventually reaches its way back to the magic core, completing the cycle. Though there are many debates when it comes to magic, such as, are the magic currents pushing the sun and moon, or are they guided by them? Or, are the mage born naturally born with magic, or does the difference in treatment due to their appearance cause the mental change needed to awaken magic? This and many other contentious topics truly show the somewhat unexplainable nature of magic. Thanks for watching.